Hokey dokey. BIT 24/6, Chapter 3, Part 2. Let's get into it. Okay. So I had to do it a moment ago, and then I stopped because I was confused about the Excel thing. So that's just how this is going to go. Let's start by reading off this problem here. We're doing 15, 16, and 17. Starting with 15, it says the family owns 410 acres. Each acre of corn costs $105. Each acre of tobacco costs $210. The Bradleys have a budget of $52,000. They limit the number of acres of tobacco to 100. Each acre of corn is 300 profit, and each acre of tobacco is 520 profit. They want to know how many acres of each crop to produce to maximize their profit. So all I will do is kind of justify each piece in the Excel sheet here. So obviously starting off with the profit per corn acre and tobacco acre, that's just right here, 300 and 520 respectively. The acres they have available is 410, that's given at the start. The budget, the money they have available is $52,500, that's right here. And the tobacco limit is 100 acres, okay? Let's talk budget first, and I'll talk about the acres and tobacco limit, ones and zeros. So the budget, it costs them 105 per acre for the corn, 210 per acre for the tobacco, and they have that much money. Okay, so let's talk about the ones and zeros. The one that was what was confusing me before I ended the last video. So the ones and zeros here were just a choice. It was a matter of design for this Excel thing. So they put a 1 and 1 here because the usage is constructed of the usage. Look at the formula here. They do 1 times 320 plus 1 times 90. So 1 times the number of corn acres, 1 times the number of tobacco acres, excuse me, and multiply them together. All right. Anyway, so that was just like a clever way to put a row for acres, but instead of putting like 320 and 90 here as the result, they were able to put them down here in this nice organized way. I don't know. It's kind of a whack way of doing it personally, but that's why they did that there, just so the ones would work with these and work with the usage formula. Same idea here for the tobacco limit. They chose to put a 0 for the corn and a 1 for the tobacco because they were only limiting the tobacco usage, right? So they had to just do like a 1 times the 90 for the usage basically, and they set that less than or equal to 100. So let's say we got rid of this, we got rid of that. This I probably should not have gotten rid of, but it'll give us a good practice because there was a formula there. The profit, what is the profit equal to? Profit is equal to the profit times the number of corn acres plus the profit of tobacco times the number of tobacco acres. So that's probably what was there before. Hit enter. We don't have anything right now, right? So we go to data, we go to solver, and let's talk about this real briefly. The profit, B13, is what we're finding a max of. The changing variable cells are B11 and B12, so the corn and tobacco acres right here. And then we have all these other constraints here. Let's talk about them. So what do we got? F7 less than or equal to E7, F7 less than or equal to E7. Yep. Sorry, I'm clicking on random shit. I should not be clicking on. What does that say? B11. Okay, so this is just saying B11 and B12 are greater than or equal to 0. So the number of corn and tobacco acres are greater than or equal to 0. Don't know why that's necessary, but F8 less than or equal to E8. So yeah, we're just getting into all the usages should be less than or equal to what's available. That's all they're doing. So F6, 7, and 8 should be less than or equal to E6, 7, and 8. I don't know why it's in a weird order. I don't know. Anyway, I feel like if we had just clicked make unconstrained variables non-negative, we wouldn't have had to do this greater than or equal to 0 part, but whatever. Anyway, hit solve, hit OK. Don't know if it did it. Let's see. Yep. Okay, so we got back to normal, I think. 24 and 8, I believe, was the answer to that. Oh, shit, no, that's the last page. Hold up, give me a sec. Why did it do that? There it is. Sorry, I went back to the last problem. 320, it worked. So 320 and 90. So we're using 320 corn acres, 90 tobacco acres. Let's keep going. Solve the linear programming model. We did. How many acres of farmland will not be cultivated at the optimal solution? So what is the optimal solution? The optimal solution was the 320 and 90, right? So 320 and 90. They ask how many acres of farmland will not be cultivated. Well, how many did they have to start? How many acres of farmland? They had 410 at the start. So if they're using 320 plus 90, that is 410. So that means no acres will not be cultivated. They are using all of the acres, okay? Now they say, do the Bradleys use the entire 100-acre tobacco allotment? They do not, because they're only using 90 acres of the 100 acres. So 0 acres for the first one, for the first part. And then do the Bradleys use the entire 100-acre allotment? No, only 90. Only 90 acres. Okay, what would the profit for corn have to be for Bradley's to only plant corn? Now, this question confused me for a while. I wonder if I have the answers pulled up. Do I not have the answers pulled up? I'm a savage, bro. I forgot all the answers to pull up. Okay, but let's talk about this. So imagine if they were only planting corn. They were not planting tobacco, only planting corn, and they still had 410 acres available. There was something about like a -1 slope. So it was like, let's see if I can remember this. I might have to skip that one for now. Sorry, I can't remember it and be confident enough on it. So let's go to C. If the Bradleys can obtain an additional 100 acres of land, will the number of acres of corn and tobacco they plan to grow change? I don't know if I read that right, but basically if the amount of land increases by 100. So let's try that. We're going to increase this to 510 from 410, right? And then if nothing else is changing, I think we can just rerun the solver. So everything stays the same. Let's hit solve, see what happens. I don't know why it keeps jumping back to this. I keep doing something. Anyway, yeah, so it did change. It's telling us that we want to do 500 acres of corn and 0 acres of tobacco. So basically, don't use any of the tobacco, just plant a bunch of corn. Why that is, I don't know. I guess it's better to just plant corn. Sorry, I'm trying to get this video back. Where the hell did it go? Or the iPad back? I'm gonna have to re-share real quick. All right, even just so it turns out if they use just 100 more acres, it makes more sense to just plant corn, I suppose. So then, yes, obviously the answer will be yes. It will plant. The number of acres will definitely change. If the Bradleys decide to not cultivate a 50-acre section as part of a crop recovery program, how will it affect their crop plans? So decide not to cultivate a 50-acre section as part of a crop. So I guess that means they subtract the 50. I don't know. I got to pause this. I got to get the answer key so I'm not bluffing here.